We've spent countless hours meticulously recreating 25 iconic figures who once ruled the American frontier. Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, Annie Oakley, and dozens more now appear as if photographed today. Lifelike, vivid, unforgettable. Heroes or outlaws? Legends or criminals? Watch and decide for yourself. Who should we resurrect next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. So sit back, relax, and step into the Wild West Reborn. Number 1. Billy the Kid. Born Henry McCarty in 1859, he became the West's most infamous teenage outlaw. Dead by 21, shot by Sheriff Pat Garrett in a darkened New Mexico bedroom. Lightning fast draw, boyish charm. A killer? Yes, but probably 8 men, not the 20 myth claims. Most deaths came during the brutal Lincoln County War, a bloody conflict that consumed New Mexico. Billy's true talent, escape. His 1881 courthouse breakout, killing 2 deputies while shackled, became legend. Today, Billy the Kid endures as the ultimate symbol of frontier rebellion. Number 2. Jesse James. Born in 1847 Missouri, the Civil War shaped him, a Confederate guerrilla turned bank and train robber. With his brother Frank and the James Younger gang, he terrorized the Midwest for 16 years. Daring heists, narrow escapes, a Robin Hood to some, a cold-blooded killer to others. But fame bred betrayal. In 1882, Robert Ford, a supposed ally, shot Jesse in the back for reward money while he adjusted a picture frame. Jesse was only 34, yet his legend exploded in death, becoming the ultimate symbol of post-war rebellion and frontier lawlessness. Number 3. Wyatt Earp. Born in 1848, Earp drifted through the frontier. Gambler, buffalo hunter, saloon keeper, before pinning on a badge in the wild Kansas cowtowns. But October 26, 1881, made him immortal. The gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. 30 seconds of gunfire that left 3 men dead and Wyatt untouched. Hero or villain? Depends who you ask. Earp walked the line between law and lawlessness, his methods often questioned. He lived to 80, long enough to see Hollywood transform him into the ultimate symbol of frontier justice. Number 4. Doc Holliday. Born John Henry Holliday in 1851, he trained as a dentist, until tuberculosis destroyed that dream. Given months to live, he headed west seeking dry air and a different life. What he found? Gambling tables, whiskey, and gunfights. His friendship with Wyatt Earp defined him, standing shoulder to shoulder at the OK Corral. Southern gentleman meets deadly gunslinger. Doc was both, equally dangerous with cards or a revolver. Tuberculosis finally claimed him at 36. His last words? This is funny. He'd always expected to die in a gunfight. Number 5. Butch Cassidy. Born Robert Leroy Parker in 1866, Utah, he became the charismatic leader of the Wild Bunch, the most successful train and bank robbing gang in the West. Unlike other outlaws, Butch had rules. No killing if possible. Strategic brilliance over brutality. His heists were legendary, his escapes even more so. When the law closed in, he and the Sundance Kid fled to South America in 1901. Did they die in a Bolivian shootout in 1908? Or escape and live quietly? The mystery endures. keeping Butch Cassidy immortal. Number 6. The Sundance Kid. Born Harry Alonzo Longabaugh in 1867, he earned his nickname after serving time in Sundance, Wyoming, a sharpshooter with ice-cold nerves and deadly accuracy. He was Butch Cassidy's right hand, the quiet professional to Butch's charismatic leader. Together, they pulled off some of the West's most daring robberies. When the heat became unbearable, Sundance fled south with Butch and his lover, Etta Place, chasing freedom in Argentina and Bolivia. His end remains shrouded in mystery. Did he die in that Bolivian shootout, or vanish into legend? Number 7. Buffalo Bill. Born William Frederick Cody in 1846, he lived the frontier life. Pony Express rider, Army scout, buffalo hunter. He earned his nickname killing thousands of buffalo to feed railroad workers. But his true genius? Showmanship. In 1883, Buffalo Bill's Wild West show launched, bringing cowboys, sharpshooters, and Native Americans to audiences across America and Europe. He didn't just live the legend, he packaged it, romanticized it, and made it global entertainment. Buffalo Bill transformed history into mythology, shaping how the world sees the American West forever. Number 8. Annie Oakley. Born Phoebe Ann Mosey in 1860 Ohio, she rose from poverty through pure talent. At 15, she beat traveling sharpshooter Frank Butler in a contest, then married him. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show made her a global sensation, shooting dimes from the air, hitting targets over her shoulder using a mirror, splitting playing cards edge-on at 90 feet. She shattered every stereotype about women, proving skill had no gender. Annie Oakley became more than an entertainer. She became a symbol of female empowerment that resonates today. Number 9. Calamity Jane. Born Martha Jane Canary in 1852, she lived life entirely on her own terms. Dressed in men's clothes, drank whiskey straight, rode with the cavalry, and could outshoot and outcurse most cowboys. She claimed friendship with Wild Bill Hickok, some say romance, and nursed smallpox victims when others fled in fear. Truth and tall tales blur around Jane. Did she scout for Custer? Ride for the Pony Express? Maybe, maybe not. What's certain? Calamity Jane refused every rule society placed on women, becoming a legend of pure, untamed freedom. Number 10. Wild Bill Hickok. Born James Butler Hickok in 1837, he was everything the West romanticized: lawman, scout, gambler, and the fastest gun alive. His accuracy was supernatural, his cool demeanor unshakable. He killed dozens in shootouts, always claiming self-defense. Sometimes hero, sometimes hired gun. The line blurred with Wild Bill. August 2, 1876 changed everything. Playing poker in Deadwood, he sat with his back to the door. A fatal mistake. Jack McCall shot him from behind. Wild Bill died holding aces and eights, the dead man's hand. Number 11. Kit Carson. Born Christopher Houston Carson in 1809, he ran away at 16 to become a mountain man. Trapping beaver, fighting grizzlies, learning native languages, Carson mastered the wilderness. He guided John Fremont's expeditions, opening the West to American expansion. Dime novels made him a superhero while he was still alive. But his legacy is complicated. Carson led brutal campaigns against the Navajo, forcing the Long Walk, a tragic death march to reservation lands. Hero and villain, explorer and enforcer. Kit Carson embodies the West's contradictory soul. Number 12, Sitting Bull. Born around 1831, he became the spiritual and political leader of the Lakota Sioux, a warrior, visionary, and uncompromising defender of native sovereignty. June 25, 1876, the Battle of Little Bighorn. Sitting Bull's vision led to Custer's catastrophic defeat, the greatest Native American victory against the U.S. military. But victory was fleeting. Forced onto reservations, he briefly joined Buffalo Bill's show, then returned to advocate for his people's rights. December 1890, Indian police killed him during an arrest, fearing his influence. A leader until the end. Number 13, Geronimo. Born in 1829, he witnessed Mexican soldiers massacre his family, his mother, wife, and children. That tragedy forged him into a relentless fighter against both Mexican and American forces. For over 25 years, Geronimo led raids and evaded capture with a small band of warriors, outwitting thousands of troops across brutal desert terrain. His final surrender in 1886 required 5,000 soldiers to hunt down just 38 Apaches. Imprisoned as a war criminal, he never returned home. But his name became a battle cry, a symbol of defiance echoing through history. Number 14, Pat Garrett. Born in 1850, Garrett was a cowboy and gambler who knew Billy the Kid personally. Some say they were friends. But when he became Lincoln County Sheriff in 1880, duty called. July 14, 1881, Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Garrett shot Billy in the darkness, ending the kid's life at 21. Instant fame followed, but so did controversy. Was it murder or justice? Many called him a backstabbing traitor. Garrett himself was mysteriously shot dead in 1908. His killer? Never convicted. Justice remained elusive for the man who delivered it. Number 15, Frank James. Born in 1843, Frank was Jesse's older brother and partner in crime. Smarter, more calculating, less impulsive, he was the brains behind the James Younger Gang's most successful heists. When Jesse was murdered in 1882, Frank made a stunning choice. He surrendered, stood trial, and was acquitted. Juries wouldn't convict the legendary outlaw. He lived 33 more years as a law-abiding citizen, working odd jobs and even giving tours of the old James farm. Frank died peacefully in 1915 at 72. The outlaw who got away with everything, including old age. Number 16, Bass Reeves. Born into slavery in 1838, he escaped to Indian Territory during the Civil War, learning native languages and survival skills that would define his legend. In 1875, he became one of the first black U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi. Over 32 years, Reeves arrested over 3,000 criminals, killed 14 men in self-defense, and never suffered a gunshot wound. Master of disguise, crack shot, relentless tracker. Bass Reeves was the real deal, a lawman whose true story rivals any Western myth, finally getting the recognition he deserves. Number 17. Belle Starr. Born Myra Maybelle Shirley in 1848, Missouri, she grew up among outlaws and became one herself. Dressed in black velvet and feathers, armed with twin pistols, she commanded respect in a man's world. Belle associated with Jesse James, harbored fugitives, and allegedly organized horse and cattle theft operations from her Oklahoma Territory hideout. February 3, 1889, someone shot her in the back. Her killer was never identified. Was she the criminal mastermind of legend, or a woman mythologized beyond reality? Either way, Belle Starr became immortal. Number 18. John Wesley Hardin. Born in 1853 to a Methodist preacher, he killed his first man at 15 and never stopped. By his own count, he killed over 40 men, though the verified number sits around 20. Lightning-fast draw, hair-trigger temper. Hardin killed for insults, arguments, even snoring neighbors. Captured in 1877, he spent 16 years in prison, studied law, and was pardoned. He became an attorney in El Paso. But old habits die hard. In 1895, John Selman shot Hardin in the back during a dice game. The killer finally killed. Number 19. Bat Masterson. Born Bartholomew Masterson in 1853, he earned his reputation in the Kansas cattle towns. Buffalo hunter, gambler, lawman, alongside Wyatt Earp. His cane and derby hat became as iconic as any six-shooter. But Masterson was always smarter than he was fast. He survived the violent frontier with wit and diplomacy more than bullets. In 1902, he moved to New York City and reinvented himself as a sports journalist, writing for the Morning Telegraph until his death in 1921. He died at his desk, pen in hand. The ultimate survivor. Number 20. Jim Bridger. Born in 1804, he headed west at 18 and became one of the greatest explorers and scouts in American history. He's credited with discovering the Great Salt Lake, exploring Yellowstone's geysers, and blazing trails across the Rockies. But Bridger was also a legendary storyteller, spinning yarns about petrified forests with petrified birds singing petrified songs. Tales so outrageous people thought he was crazy. Turns out, much of it was true. Yellowstone's wonders seemed impossible until others finally saw them. Jim Bridger lived the unbelievable, and nobody believed him. Number 21. Chief Joseph. Born Hinma Tuya Lutkekt in 1840, he became chief of the Nez Perce when the U.S. government tried forcing his people onto a reservation in 1877. His response: a strategic masterpiece, leading 750 people, including women, children, and elderly. Chief Joseph outmaneuvered U.S. forces across 1,170 miles of brutal terrain, heading for Canada and freedom. Just 40 miles from the border, exhausted and outnumbered, he surrendered with words that echo through history. "I will fight no more." Forever. Chief Joseph spent the rest of his life advocating for his people's rights. A warrior who became a statesman. Number 22. Quanah Parker. Born around 1845, son of Comanche Chief Peta Nakona and Cynthia Ann Parker, a white captive who became Comanche. Quanah grew up between cultures, belonging fully to neither. He was the Comanche's fiercest warrior, leading raids across Texas until 1875, when starvation and army pressure forced surrender. But Quanah didn't fade away. He became a shrewd diplomat and wealthy rancher, negotiating oil leases and preserving Comanche rights while adapting to reservation life. He died in 1911, honored by both his people and the nation that conquered them, a leader until the end. Number 23, Morgan Earp. Born in 1851, Morgan was the youngest of the Earp lawmen, Wyatt's right hand and closest confidant. Easygoing and well-liked, he stood fearlessly beside his brothers at the OK Corral shootout in 1881. But the gunfight didn't end that day. Revenge was coming. March 18, 1882. Playing pool in Tombstone, Morgan was shot through a window, an assassin's bullet meant to punish the Earps. He died in Wyatt's arms at 30 years old. His murder triggered Wyatt's legendary vendetta ride, turning frontier justice into a blood-soaked war. Number 24, Virgil Earp. Born in 1843, Virgil was the eldest, a Union Army veteran who took his badge seriously. As Tombstone's town marshal, he led his brothers Wyatt and Morgan into the OK Corral confrontation on October 26, 1881. He survived the gunfight, but paid dearly. December 1881, assassins ambushed him, shattering his left arm with shotgun blasts. He never regained full use of it. Unlike Wyatt's vendetta, Virgil chose law over revenge. He continued serving as a lawman across the West until his death in 1905. The brother who stayed true to the badge. Number 25, Cole Younger. Born in 1844, Missouri, Cole rode with Quantrill's raiders during the Civil War before joining the James Younger gang. For a decade, they terrorized banks and trains across the Midwest. September 7, 1876, Northfield, Minnesota. The gang walked into a trap. Cole and his brothers were shot to pieces but survived. The James brothers escaped. The Youngers went to prison. 25 years later, Cole was paroled. He toured with a Wild West show, lectured against crime, and wrote his memoirs. The outlaw became the cautionary tale, living proof that crime doesn't pay. Thanks for riding with us through the Wild West. If you enjoyed seeing these iconic figures brought back to life, hit that like button and share this video with fellow history lovers. See you in the next one.